This is the messy living room portion of my great room that we are tackling today. We were really on top of this space during the lockdown, but since the lockdown has ended and people have started going places again, this room has become a clutter catch-all. Somehow a tub of my crafting and decor pieces has sat here for weeks, so I needed to get that out of there. And then for some reason, there's a basket of mail on the coffee table. Don't know why, but needed to go through that too. Then I decided to straighten up under the desk. I haven't done this in a while, and it was a real disaster. But I found a Target gift card. I do still use old-fashioned cleaning products. This is my Pledge Clean and Dust. I've used this forever. I really like it because it cleans stuff off of the wood as well as preserves the wood. And then, of course, there was a bunch of stuff that I needed to go through. Things in spaces like this tend to just sit. And I got the family involved in going through and seeing if there were things that they needed to keep. And then I got my dustbuster involved. I use my dustbuster all the time for many different purposes. And it's great for things like this where you're just trying to get a lot of the junk out of there before you go ahead and wipe it down. Then I needed to wipe down the whole desktop, but I couldn't just take everything off because it's a lot of the computer and modem and the router, and I didn't want to mess up the Wi-Fi. So I just kind of did my best to clean around all of the components that are there. I used the Pledge on the desk, and then I used Spick and Span on the other surfaces. And this is Gabe's zone. He has a lot of little collectibles and fidgets here, so I didn't want to take anything off the desk because I know he likes to have all of his little things there, but I just dusted them all. Because my kids' game here, the mouse pad had gotten really disgusting and I didn't really know how to clean it. I've never tried, but I used Spick and Span and a microfiber cloth, and that actually did a pretty good job. So if anyone's ever curious how to clean a mouse pad, that's one way to try. And I do like to use my dustbuster to vacuum my lampshades. It does a very good job. I always get told in my videos that I have a lot of things, and aren't I irritated by the amount of dusting? Honestly, if you love things, you don't mind dusting. And my house isn't that dusty. So everyone always asks me, how do you dust it all? I dust it. That's my only response. I move the things and I dust them. I won't bore you with all of the dusting footage, but this is my vintage uranium glass and milk glass collection. The uranium glass glows under black lights, and I want to attach black lights to each of these shelves. I think that would be really cool, but I went ahead and dusted each shelf as well. This uranium glass candlestick was a recent purchase at a thrift store, and I hadn't had the chance to put candles in it, so I decided to do that while I was working in this room as well. Then I removed the clutter from that second shelf of my coffee table and cleaned the whole thing. This is one of the areas that I knew I wanted to redecorate. I also gave the room a good sweeping. I did not mop it because we mop the floors on Fridays, and so that will be coming later in the week. I also have a lot of live plants around my room and they do collect dust, so I always give them a little wipe down when I am dusting. And last but not least, for cleaning this room, I dusted the railing for the steps using my Pledge Clean and Dust. And I got to start decorating. I always like to hang a wreath on the mirror here. I had this wreath, which I got at the Goodwill outlet bins, and I added a bow with a little starfish on it. Then for whatever reason, my middle cushion on my leather couch always comes unzipped, so I had to reattach that. And then I added in these pillows. These used to be in my bedroom, but they really weren't getting used much, so I thought they'd be better used up here. And they bring in that aqua color that I've been trying to work into the room in this coastal farmhouse style. Then I moved on to the coffee table. I started with this oval tray from IKEA. I got it last year. And then I added this green glass bottle with a macrame cover. I thought that would look really nice with the coastal theme that I had going. And then I brought in the only new piece that I got for this room, which is this gray glass cake plate from the Target dollar spot. And I added a lantern that I got from a yard sale a while back. Then I didn't like the way that the green glass looked with the blue pillows, so I took that down and added instead this clear glass bottle with a wooden handle. You'll see that later, and I liked that a lot better. I took some bags of shells from the Dollar Tree and I added some shells to the bottom of the lantern, and then you'll see later I also added a tea light candle on top of the shells, and it made for a really lovely display piece. I have these stems of lamb's ear, which came from Walmart, and so I stuck a few of those stems into the glass bottle. And then I have this candle from my daughter. She recently gave it to me, but I did not like the yellow label. So I stuck the candle into this Roseville pottery crock, which I've had for a while, and I love the way that looks on the tray. Then I wanted to add a few little accents, so I brought in these two pieces from the Dollar Tree. One is a little trinket box and one is a candle holder. And I lit all my candles, and you can see here I did add a string of wooden beads that I had previously strung, and I love the way my new coffee table display looks. Then I wanted to bring in a little coastal farmhouse to the top of my cabinets, so I have this old lantern that came from my husband's uncle, and as well as another lantern, and so I added those to the top. You can't really see it clearly, but I did also add shells into my blue ball jar lamp. It previously had spools in it, but I'm getting a little away from the farmhouse and more into the coastal farmhouse, and so I thought the shells would be better. And so this is the way the top of that cabinet looks now. I also wanted to add a little bit of coastal to the other cabinet on the other side. So I have this jute wrapped spherical piece of decor, and I also brought that green glass bottle in and added some more of the lamb's ear. And then I switched the positions of them. We like this better. And so this is how the top of that cabinet looks now. Here's what the finished room looks like. I love it. It looks much more cleaned up, and I love the bits of coastal that I brought into the room. I think it's a nice blend of coastal and farmhouse without being too overwhelming. They're just subtle touches that kind of help to tie the room into the other rooms. I've really been trying to bring the coastal into this space, and I think I did it effectively here. So that's all that I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed cleaning and decorating with me. I will be posting another garden tour later on this week. And also on Friday, I'm kicking off Nicole Northgarden DIY. I will link that in the description box below. If you like DIY, I'd love to have you join me there. And until my next video, thanks for watching.